Okay, yesterday's recording I didn't send it. I will share that.
Okay.
So far, do you have any doubts?
No.
No, right. Okay.
Yeah, I'm having regarding that router example. That I practice that the router one.
Okay.
I am having that. I couldn't understand near that private router thing.
Okay. Which one?
Yeah, the router example is here, right? That one I couldn't understand.
Is it authentication?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, we'll see that today, otherwise tomorrow, if time permits.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah. In the last class, we covered the combined reducers, right? So, if anything, if we have more functionalities to handle, so for each functionality wise, we can create a reducer and we can combine them and we can pass this combined reducers to our create store function, right? So, and yeah, the main thing here is the initial state should be the similar to the combined reducer object, whatever we are passing to the combined reducers, right? The initial state must follow the same object pattern, whatever we are passing to the combined reducer. Then only it is going to handle or it takes the default state, whatever we pass to the initial state. This we observed yesterday, right? Yeah. So, yeah, today we are going to see how we are going to combine Redux and React. So far, whatever we saw the examples, all are standalone Redux we have covered. Okay, so now we have to go for how we have to integrate the Redux into the React.js. Okay, so if we are going to use the Redux and React together, we should also use the React Redux library to bind these two libraries. So in order to use the Redux, first step what we have done, we have installed the Redux, right? In order to use the Redux with React, we have to install the React Redux library. Okay, so next we have to understand the library which provides the which is provided by the React Redux and how we are going to work on this library in order to accomplish the Redux functionalities. Okay, so first component we have, the first component that we have in React Redux is the provider. Okay, provider is the first component. Okay, so the usage of provider is to make our Redux store available to all of our nested components. Okay, so it makes the Redux store available to any nested components Okay, whatever we have in our library. So by default, is the Redux store available to all components? So we have two types of component, right? Class based and functional, right? Okay. In case of class component, we must connect to the Redux store by using the connect function. Okay, then only the Redux store will be available to our class-based component. Okay, so for our functional component, we no need to connect to Redux store. Okay, by default, all this store available to the functional component. So for this, we are going to use the Redux hooks in order to accomplish or in order to connect to the store of our Redux.
Okay.
Okay. In order to any React component to connect to the Redux store, we must render or wrap our component with a provider component. Okay, then only whatever the components that are connected to Redux, right, those will be available. The store will be available to that component once it connected. So what is the top level component that we are following for most of applications? It is app component, right?
Yeah.
So under app component, we are trying to create some other components. So it is always a good practice or best to connect to the app component by using the provider. Okay. Clear it. So this provider will have a props, right? Component can have a properties, right? So it contains one property called store property. For this store property, we can pass our store object to our component. Okay, so whatever the store that we are going to create by using the create store, we are going to pass to store property. Okay, it is something like provider store is equal to store. Okay, this store is whatever we have created by using the create store. Okay, so it will be wrapped to our app component. Okay, so that whatever the components that are available in our React app, all will be able to use the Redux store if we wrap our app component to our provider.
Okay.
Clear, right? This function. Yeah. So yeah, we have a library called React Redux. Okay, okay, in web we will find the more details. So getting started. So first one, if you see, okay, we can do the installation by using npm install React Redux, right? So yeah, so provider, this is the base component in our React Redux library. Okay, by using this, we can make our store available to all of our application. Okay, so how we are going to do it? Like this. Okay, we are going to create a store, and that store we are going to import it, and we are holding or passing the store object to our store property of our provider. So in that case, all our components will be able to have access to this store automatically.
Okay.
Clear, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Next, we are going to see about the connect function. How we are going to connect our component to Redux, right? To the Redux store. So for that, we have a connect function. Okay, so the connect function connects a React component to the Redux store.
Okay.
Okay, connects to a React component to the Redux store. Okay, what is the benefit of connecting our component to the Redux store? So, what Redux store contains? It contains some data, right?
Yeah.
In the form of a state, right?
Yes.
And also, if we want, we can dispatch actions to the store, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So once we connect to the store, what we are able to access is we can able to access the state of the store, right? And we can dispatch actions to the store. Clear, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the connect is a function. So it takes a number of parameters, which means it takes 4 different parameters. Okay, all parameters are optional. Okay, 4 parameters it is going to take, all are optional. Okay, so first we are going to see each parameter, what it is defined. Okay, by convention, these are called like map state to props. Okay, next one, map dispatch to props. Okay, next we have merge props. Okay, next we have options. Okay, all are optional, right? So we will see what are these type of each parameter. It is a function, and next this can be a function or object. Okay, merge props should be of type function, and options should be of object. Okay, so first we have to understand all these parameters in order to work with the connect function. Okay, first one is the map state to props. Okay, do you understand anything by seeing this name?
State.
Okay, what is state? It is meant by a Redux state, right? Some data, right?
Okay, yeah.
What is props?
Some properties.
Okay, the props are nothing but if we want to send any data to components, we can use the props, right?
Yeah.
Sending data to components via props, right? So yeah, the name itself suggesting that we are passing our Redux state through props to the component. Understood, right?
Okay.
So yeah, this parameter is of type function. So we must create a function, and the function should be, it takes the state as a first parameter and own props, right? And also it returns an object. Understood?
Okay.
If a map state to props function is specified, okay, the new wrapper component or the component will subscribe to the Redux store updates. Okay, so if we specify the map state to props, which means we are subscribed to the store to have the subscribes to the store for Redux updates.
Okay.
Okay, for Redux updates. Okay, what is meant by that? So if any Redux updates happen, automatically our component is going to get that information as a props, right?
Yeah.
Clear, right? So if props is going to change, then component is going to re-render, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. The result of the map state to props is an object, right? Here you are seeing. Okay, which is a plain object which will be merged to our components props.
Okay.
Understood, right? The results of map state to props must be a plain object okay, which will be merged to the components props. Okay, so which means suppose we are returning an object called pigeons, right? And it contains list of pigeons as an array. Okay, so what will happen, right? So automatically this pigeons will become the property to our component.
Okay.
Property to our component. Understood it?
Yeah.
Okay. If we don't want to subscribe the store to the store updates, we can pass null or undefined in place of map state to props.
Okay.
Okay. If we don't want to subscribe to the stored updates. Right? We can pass null or undefined. Okay, in place of map state to props. Okay, so we are saying this map state to props have two parameters, right, as a function. Okay, the state is object and the one props is nothing but the component props which are being sent by the parent component.
Okay.
Understood it?
Yeah.
So the final function of map state to prop something like this: constant map state to props is equal to, right, what it contains? It contains the state comma one props, right? And what we are going to do, I'm going to return an object at PidJAWS. How I'm going to get this PidJAWS from state.PidJAWS. Understood? Okay. The final component will something like connect. So map state to props, right? And for this it will come PidJAW component. Okay. Something like will be the final way to connect our PidJAW component by using the map state to props.
Okay.
Okay. Next we have the map dispatch to props. Correct? Map dispatch to props. Okay, what you understood by this?
Any updates?
No. By the name of map dispatch to props, what you observed by seeing that name? Earlier, what this parameter has done? Map state to props. We are mapping the state to props of our component, right?
Yeah.
Here, we are mapping dispatch to, correct?
Yeah.
To prop for our component.
Okay.
Clear it? Okay. So yeah, we saw that map dispatch to props can be a function or object, right? So we will see what will happen in case of object or in case of function. Okay. So object or function. Okay, function will have two parameters. Those are dispatch comma onProps. Okay, from this function we must return an object. Okay, this is a second parameter to our connect function, right? This map dispatch to props. Okay. It can be either an object or it can be a function. Okay. So if we won't specify the map dispatch to props as a second parameter to our connect function, what will happen? By default, Redux is going to inject dispatch as a property to our component. Understood?
Okay.
Okay, if we won't specify, by default we will receive the dispatch as a prop to our component. Correct? So first one, if we won't specify means how it should be. Connect, right? Map state to props, right? Our Pizza component, right? So in that case, what will happen? By default, the dispatch will become the prop to our component.
Okay.
Correct? Next, if we are going to specify in the form of a function form. Okay, we can specify this parameter as a function or object form, right? Yeah. So if we are going to use the function form, okay, so it takes two arguments. What are those? Two arguments or two parameters, dispatch and onProps. Okay, so if we are going to specify the function form, okay, we will get the more flexibility to pass the different types of actions or action creators from our function, right? We can return that. Okay, so we will see that point. Okay, so it returns an plain object. Okay, so map dispatch to props can be in the form of a function form. In that function, you will receive two parameters. Those are dispatch and onProps, and we must return a plain object. Okay, so the dispatch is something that is passed by our Redux only.
Okay.
Okay. So whatever the plain object that we are going to return from this function form, it is going to be it is going to be added as a prop to our component. Okay, so like this. So suppose if we are returning D1, assume, okay, some action or something, some type add pizza, right? So what will happen? This will become the D1 will become the property to our component. Understood, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So now we will see some examples on how we are going to do the components. Sorry, in a function form. Now, first one, dispatching a plain action, right? Dispatching a plain action. Okay, how we are going to dispatch a plain action? Earlier, how we used to do it? Did you remember?
Yeah, by
Store
adding a
dot
type.
dispatch. Yes, correct. We are having a type it exactly like this, right? Now, so instead of using store.dispatch, what happens? To our function map dispatch to props, the function form, it is passing the dispatch object directly for us. Sorry, dispatch function. So we no need to specify the dispatch store dot here. Okay. The final function will something like constant map dispatch to props is equal to dispatch of, but we can return an object, right? That object will have something like property add pizza, right? Which is a function, right? In that I'm going to dispatch of type add pizza. Understood here, this function?
Okay. Yeah.
So now for our component, it is going to add as a property, right? Which property it is going to add, you have to tell now. Our pizza component. Okay, what is the object that we are returning from our map dispatch to props? What is the return value from map dispatch to props? What is the return value? Which is it a function or object or a variable? Can you tell?
It's a function.
Okay, it is a function. Okay. Next, it is a function.
Is a function or object?
You have to tell. You have function with you, map dispatch to props. So,
Okay.
is it a function? Is map dispatch to props? So, function can return a value, right?
Yeah.
So, what it is returning? Arrow function. You remember?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, what it is returning? This map dispatch to props. It is returning an object, right? This is the return value, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, correct? So, now in this return value, what is the type of okay, so in this object what it contains, you have to tell. The object contains keys and values, right?
Yes.
Okay, now what is the key value? What is this key value? Add pizza, right?
Okay.
This is the key, right?
Yeah.
Right or wrong?
Yes.
Okay, what is the value? Yeah, what is the value? This is the value, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now can you tell what is this type of value? Is it a function or variable or something?
It is variable.
Variable? Or it is a function? It is arrow function, right? Without parameters.
Okay.
Got it? Okay, now what will happen? So once we call our connect function, right, by passing map dispatch to props. So it is returning an object with having a key as a add pizza, right? So what it is going to do? It is going to combine the what are the props that comes from a parent component. Along with that, it is going to add a one property called add pizza property to our pizza component. Understood?
Okay.
Clear or not clear?
Yeah. Can you explain again?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, you can see here. So whenever we are going to specify the map dispatch to props, right? So here we are specifying as a function form, right?
Yes.
So it is going to take two parameters. What are those? Dispatch and own props. Currently I am taking only dispatch, right?
Okay.
So it is going to return a plain object. Object means it contains some key values, right?
Yeah.
Some k1, k2. Okay, so what is going to do? Whatever the keys that are contained or that are written from this function is going to be added to our component as a props. Understood this point?
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So in our case, we are trying to return an object called add pizza as a key and some function as a value. So what will happen? This add pizza key is going to add as a property to our pizza component.
Okay.
Clear it?
Yeah.
So
add
now
pizza key
if
is
we
going
want
to add, right? Key, not
sorry,
value.
can you come again?
So the pizza component is the add pizza key, right? Key.
Yeah, pizza component will have an extra property called add pizza as a property to our pizza component.
Okay.
Along with the parent component, whatever it sends, right?
Okay.
Clear it?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, next. So once we see the example, you will understand in a better way. Next, okay, in this only we are dispatching the plain action, right? Here. Now I'm going to dispatch in the form of a action creator. You remember action creators?
What is it? Action?
Creator or action handler. We have created one function, right?
Yes.
So add pizza, right? Like this, right? You remember?
Yes.
So I'm going to return an object, right?
Okay.
As one parameter called pizza name, right? Like this, right? You remember?
Yeah.
Okay. Now what I'm going to do, right? So I'm going to have something by using these action creators. I want to create the map dispatch to props function. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to create map dispatch to props dispatch of, right? So here now, okay, we are going to dispatch actions which are created by the action creators. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to have one function, or sorry, one property, add pizza action, right? So for this I'm going to take one function, right? Dispatch of, right? What I'm going to do, I'm going to dispatch add pizza of this one. Understood here? So earlier we hard coded the dispatch of type of object, right?
Yes.
Now instead of hard coding, what we have done, we have created one. Okay, we have created one function, right? Return our action object. Clear, right? So now I'm going to pass this pizza to this, correct?
Yes.
Now what will happen, right? So in this case, which property is going to add to our component, our pizza component? Property is going to add to our pizza component. Which property is going to add? Is it going to add a property of whatever the return type, whatever the returned object that we are going to return from our map dispatch to props, right?
Okay.
So now what is the property name that it is going to have? Going to add? It's going to add a property called add pizza action, right?
Yeah.
So if we want to, if we want to have, or if we want to dispatch an action by using the property, right? How we can do props dot add pizza action by passing corn pizza. Okay. Do you understand here? So what happened here is we are passing the add pizza action by passing corn pizza. Now it is going to invoke this function, right, by passing corn pizza to this pizza parameter. So it is going to call this dispatch, correct?
Okay.
In this dispatch, we have an action creator called add pizza, right?
Yes.
Okay, this is going to call this action creator, right?
Yeah.
By passing this corn pizza property, right, to our this pizza name.
Yes.
Correct? So it returns the action object called with add pizza type, and pizza name is this corn pizza.
Okay.
Understood, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Next, we are going to see how we are going to mention in the form of an object. So whatever we covered so far, these are the function form. Okay, object form. Okay, so most of the applications uses the object form. Okay, so which is a shorthand or a simple form to specify the map dispatch to props. Okay, so how we can specify? Okay, so whatever the object it contains, right? It contains some key and values, right? K1 and K2 keys. So automatically these keys will bind to our connected component as a props. Correct?
Okay.
So in this case, it is not going to have a dispatch prop to our any object form. Okay, so how we are going to do it, right? So constant constant map dispatch to props is equal to, I'm going to specify the add pizza here. Okay, so this add pizza is something like this. Okay, now what it is going to happen? Now if I'm going to use like this, so it is going to have an object with the property as a or key as a add pizza, right? And also the value is add pizza function, right? For this object. Understood, right? This notation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now what it is going to happen? This is going to be added as a prop to our pizza component, right?
Okay.
So earlier we used to return the property. Sorry, earlier we used to return the object from the map dispatch to props. Here directly what we are doing, directly we are returning an action creator object, right? Or an action creator function directly, or we can write it in a simple action also. How, right? So suppose now instead of add pizza, what I can do, right? I can mention it simple in this way. I can mention it. Understood?
Yeah.
Yeah. So instead of that, we are directly using the action creators to our object form. So automatically this add pizza is going to have a property called add pizza property or pizza component, and it is an action creator called, or a function called by passing the pizza name. In that way it is going to create to our function. Okay, so in this way it is going to work.
Okay.
Okay, so in this case I think we won't be able to send the property. So in that case we must specify if we want to send any parameters to our action creators, right? Okay, just I'm going to hard code somewhere quickly. Okay, so in this case it is not going to send any parameters. In order to send parameters, we have to specify the add pizza colon name, right? We can call add pizza action creator by passing the name. Okay, by pizza by passing name, right? By pizza. Okay, in this way we can pass the map dispatch to props as an object form. Yeah, 2 minutes I will come.
Yeah.
So yeah, in this way we are going to connect our component to the Redux store by passing the map state to props and map dispatch to props.
Okay.
So if you have, or if you want more documentation, right, you can go through this site. Okay, you will be able to understand easily.
Okay.
Okay, once we saw the example, right, you will be able to understand in a better way, right? So after that, if you study this material once, if you go to this site, you will be able to understand easily. Okay, so yeah, whatever we discussed so far, all these are going to use as a use in case of the functional component. Okay, so in case of the all these are class-based components. But if we want to use them in case of the functional component, right, we must go for the Redux hooks. Okay.
Okay.
So the hooks we have, okay, the hooks are use selector is a hook, and we have use dispatch, okay, and we have use store to get the store value. Okay, so these are the three important hooks that we are going to see in case of our functional component. So okay, if you observe, so if we want to get the Redux state information to our class-based component, what is the way we get map state to props we use, right? Correct or wrong? This is the first parameter, right? So in case of the functional component, we are going to use the use selector hook. Okay, so by using this use selector hook, we are going to extract the data from Redux state. So for this selector hook, the first parameter is a function. Okay, for this function, okay, it is going to pass the whole state information to this selector function. Okay, you can see here. Use selector of state by passing the states of it. Okay, so once we comes to the example, I'll explain more. Okay, so next we have a use dispatch, right? It is something similar to the map dispatch to props. Okay, in case of the map dispatch to props, we are directly dispatching the object or a action creator by passing the prop to our component, right? But here what they have given the dispatch function directly they have given for us. Okay, so for this dispatch function, we can pass any action object that we are going to invoke. You understood? So like this, dispatch of action object, type add pizza, right? Okay, like this we can do it. If we want to do it by using a action creator, Just we have to call that function, right? Okay, like this we can do it by using the use dispatch hook. Okay, so once we comes to the example, I will explain both class-based and functional components, how we can connect our component to the Redux store. Okay, tomorrow we will see the example.
Okay.
Okay, tomorrow we'll meet. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Bye.